Yeah, at the front, well actually I've installed the tweeter this case, so the wire comes round here, snipped off the old wire here, and then connected the incoming wire to the tweeter wire, which is wrapped in this fabric here, and it's installed behind the the stock panel. I'll just come around the front here, or sorry, round to the other side. This one here I haven't put the cover on yet, and you can see it's mounted using that polyurethane cement or polyurethane glue. What I actually had to do was, when you pop out the stock tweeter, there's a whole load of lugs and retainers, none of which would really fit this type of tweeter, but the plastic's very soft. You can easily snip it away and then clean it up with a standing knife to make the surface flat, and then use a little thing like this here to just expand the hole a little bit, and then the tweeters can be popped in, and then using this very strong glue material, it can be held in place. So then I'll finish this wire off later today as I'm wiring this side of the car in. So anyway, now this is ready to have the cover pop back on. So it's very simple to just pop that in place here, and it's a perfect fit. Or it will be when I put it in place anyway. So yeah, that's what I've done. Now you might argue about whether or not I should be gluing these things in. Well, they can be dug out if they had to, with the application of a little bit of a Stanley knife. Similarly, soldering in the wires to the back of the head unit. Some people might disagree with that, but actually that's what I think the optimum solution is. And of course there are consequences if ever work needs to be done on the car, but I understand what those consequences are, and I think that in terms of the install, this is probably the optimum, and the risks that it represents, I think, are far outweighed by the benefits. Well, that's my thoughts. Okay, I thought I'd give a quick update just before I put the speaker door cards back on. Trims are all back in place after sorting out that wiring loom down the left hand side of the car. Seats are back in. Speakers are in with these foam surrounds, which I've folded around here so they're sort of flared out a bit. This tweeter connection for the rear doors, similarly front doors. Here, tweeters are in place, wired in as I described before, trim back in. Yeah, okay, so where I left the wiring off before, I'd cut some of this bodywork away here. Speaker cables were installed as planned behind here. All I had to do was undo these two nuts, lift this plastic up. I had to cut a little channel out behind there with a Stanley knife in order to get the wire through, but then otherwise it comes through. These are the wires from the amplifier, and then they go in behind here. Ultimately these clear coated wires here are coming into each of the crossovers, and then the other wiring loom that I had to do was the left hand side for the speaker to connect up the speakers, which I did, and that's this wiring running here. And in fact, actually all of the door panels are back in the car now. That's the layout in the boot, and I'm going to put the I've soldered a little plug on for the subwoofer cable. I'm just going to install that now and quickly video that. So that's the sub in place now, connected up, bolted down, and the crossover system, as I had envisioned, is here. So that actually, it's finished now. The car is finished. So yeah, all good. So on to the tuning now, which there's a fair bit of that to do, but I'm just going to tidy up now.